Hey folks, Ryan Gunness here, and today's video, follow up. Okay, so on your ABC app as an MLM Recruitment member, you have a tab called follow up. Okay, again, this app could be on your mobile phone, on your desktop, wherever, so you have easy access to it. And as you're doing the activity where you're copying and pasting and sending out messages as we teach in the other processes, there's going to be people that's going to message you back, sometimes with questions, or sometimes you're just reaching out to them to follow up. So right below this video, we have a 3S formula for follow up. So as people opt in to watch your video that we've prepared for you with the instant queries and some of the other funnels that we have, you get notified. So you can easily, as you get those notification emails, you can easily come to follow up. And one of the first questions is stand out, where we message a person and say, hey, did anything stand out from the video? Simple question. Okay. Another version is we could say, hey, what did you like best? Another version is what part was most interesting to you? So very simple question to find out, did anything catch their interest? Okay. And based on that, they'll come back and they'll say something, or they'll say, I like this part, or they'll give you something, even if it's sounds interesting, even if it's very vague. Okay. And then you can go to scale. So scale is where we try to find out their level of interest. So like in this question here, it's like, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, where do you see yourself? Okay. And we kind of use a little normal kind of language here, just to kind of keep it conversational, meaning that we spell you with a U instead of Y or U. But if that's not your style, you can just simply edit it before you copy it. Okay. Here's another version of that question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what number do you see yourself? Okay. Which best describes your level of interest? Low, medium, or high? So just a little question to find out. You don't have to use all 3 questions. These are just different variations of the same question. You just pick the one that you like the best, or go ahead and edit it yourself. Okay. So this is to find out what level of interest they have, and they'll come back and they'll tell you something. And now this is where we go to social proof. Social proof is where we want them to hear a story or a testimony from somebody else. Your upline, downline, sideline. This is a great time to do a 3-way call, or a great time to send them a post on a testimony on Facebook, or some type of video testimony, or some kind of resources that you have that is geared around someone talking about their experience with your products and your business, etc. Okay, so here's a way that this can be set up. Great, I would like to connect you with one of our team members whose story may help connect some of the dots. Are you okay with that? And this is a good place for them to say, yeah, sure, that's fine. And then you can kind of go ahead and engage from there. This can be done live on the phone, or this could be through text message. Here's another one. Do you have a few minutes now? This is good, if you're in some kind of live communication, instant chat going on, or you're on the phone. Do you have a few minutes now? I was telling my team member about you, and I would like to introduce you both. Okay, and you tell them the truth here. You have team members that you say, hey, is it okay if I introduce you to, or use you for 3-way calls? And they say, sure. So that's basically, I'm telling my team member about you. Okay. So and then this one over here is like, if you're on a call already with the person, I take the assumptive rule. So in this one here, after you ask the standout and the scale question, you just say, okay, cool, sounds good, hold on a second, and you just put them on hold, and you go ahead and call an upline, downline, sideline. Okay, and the goal of that conversation is just so that they could hear someone else's story. So in step 2 is where we make the introduction, where we're talking to the team member. Now this could be done live or through voicemail. So you're talking to, let's say I call team member Mary. So prospect is Sam. Okay, or let's call the prospect Prospect. Okay, just for this conversation. And team member, we'll call the team member. So I say, hi, team member. This is, and you say, your name will show up here. I have Prospect on the line. They watched our video and love the blah, 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 whatever they told you that they love. And they are a 7 out of 10 as far as interest. can you give them a buzz and share a quick 1-minute version of your story with them? And then you say prospect, go ahead and leave your number for team member so they can get back to you. So this here is an example of how you can set up a 3-way call through voicemail. And it's more of a 3-way introduction. So you called your team member, but you got their voicemail. So instead of trying to do all the phone tag stuff that happens, all you do is when you get your team member's voicemail, you go ahead and leave this little message on voicemail, and you invite the prospect to go ahead and leave their name and number, because the call is merged in at this point. So allow them to leave their name and number so that your team member can get back to them. And that saves a lot of the phone tag back and forth. We've been using this strategy for a few years now, and it's been very, very effective. Okay, which is kind of untraditional to the most 3-way calls where you want all 3 people to be on at the same time. But because of the way that we're doing this with social proof, we just really want the prospect to hear someone else's voice, hear someone else's story real quick. So the person that's doing this call doesn't have to be a super duper closer. It's just for them to share their story real quick, and that's why we set it up right here. Can you give them a quick buzz, share your story with them real quick? That's it. Okay. And then we give you instructions. If the team member that you're calling answers the phone, then this is what you would use right here. So get familiar with the different options that we have here. And then here's another option where you can introduce them through chat or text, whatnot, where you can kind of make the introduction that way too as well. So get familiar with that. Again, if you want to tweak a word, you can come in there and type in a few words if you want to tweak this message before you actually select it. So you have the convenience of doing that very quickly. All right, and then follow-up, never-ending follow-up, step 3. So, we give you a couple of examples where all your follow-up should be is inviting your prospects to events, webinars, videos, testimonies, screenshots, etc., etc. So every couple of days, you just go ahead and say, hey, here's a little video. So as you get emails from your company, as you get emails from your team leaders, okay, if you're part of Facebook team groups and stuff like that, look for those kind of things that you can share, and then share that with people that prospects that are looking through the process, especially because they told you, hey, this is what stood out to me, this is where I'm at, okay, and so now you have kind of permission to keep following up with them. Okay, unless they tell you, hey, I have zero interest, I could never see myself ever doing that, don't call me about this. Okay, then at that point you don't have to follow up with them. Okay, but if they tell you, hey, I kind of like this here, this interests me about your products or your services, this interests me about your business, and there's a little bit of engagement there, then keep following up with them. Okay, and then the close is very simple. The prospect is going to say something like, okay, this is interesting, I'm ready to get started. Sometimes they say that. Sometimes they say, okay, so what's my next step? That's an indication that they're ready to get involved. So that's where you can come back and say, sounds like you're ready to get started. Sounds like you're ready to get started. It's pretty quick to set up. If you want, I can walk you through the sign-up process now. And they say, sure, let's do it. Or, yeah, now is not a great time, but, can we do it later? And you said, sure, let's go ahead and set up a time. And you can help them through that step. Okay. And then, here's your link very quickly. So they might be saying, hey, can you give me your link real quick to join? Let's say it's not a convenient time or whatever. You can just select your link right here, send it to them, real quick. So you'll gain different avenues of how you do this the more that you fill your pipeline. Okay, but the close is very, very simple, where, someone is just going to kind of indicate to you, like, hey, what's next? Sounds like I'm ready to get started. All right, very, very simple. So that's follow-up. Ryan Gunness signing out, and I'll catch you in another video.